to sing a song that old was sung. From quarantine we have come, rehearsing with limited supplies to glad your ear and please your eyes. The story? One of noble Pericles, king of Tyre and Greek as Heracles. We begin, long ago, in ancient Syria, where Antiochus the Great built up the city for his chiefest seat, the fairest in all Syria. With pride, this king unto him took a bride, who died, and left a daughter fair, so buxom, blithe, and debonair. The beauty of this youthful one made many princes thither come to seek favor as Antiochus' son, which, to prevent, he made a law to keep her still and men in awe, that whoso asked her for his wife, the king's riddle solved not, lost his life. What now ensues? To the judgment of your eye, we give our tale. You best can justify.
Ah, young Pericles, you have at large received the danger of the task you undertake.
I have, Antiochus, and with a soul emboldened with the glory of her praise, think death no hazard in this enterprise.
Music! Bring in our daughter, clothed like a bride.
See where she comes. Apparelled like the spring, graces her subjects, and her thoughts the king of every virtue gives renown to men.
Prince Pericles, before thee stands this fair Hesperides, with golden fruit, but dangerous to be touched.
Antiochus, I thank thee, who hath taught my frail mortality to know itself. So I bequeath a happy peace to you and all good men, as every prince should do. My riches to the earth from whence they came, thus ready for the way of life or death. I wait the sharpest blow, Antiochus.
Scorning advice. Read the conclusion then, which, read and not expounded, 'tis decreed, as these before, thee thou thyself shalt bleed.
Of all saidest yet, mayest thou prove prosperous.
Like a bold champion, I assume the lists, nor ask advice of any other thought but faithfulness and courage. I am no viper, yet I feed on mother's flesh which did me breed. I sought a husband, in which labor I found that kindness in a father. He's father's son and husband mild, I, mother, wife, and yet his child. How they may be, and yet in two, as you will live, resolve it you. Can this be true? Which makes me pale to read.
Prince Pericles, your time's expired. Either expound now or receive your sentence.
Great king, few love to hear the sins they love to act. Kings are earth's gods, in vice their laws their will. And if Jove stray, who dare say Jove doth ill? All love the womb that they're first being bred, then give my tongue like leave to love my head.
He has found the meaning, but I will flatter him. Young Prince of Tyre, though by the tenor of our strict edict your exposition misinterpreting, we might proceed to cancel of your days. Yet, hope succeeding from so fair a tree as your fair self doth tune us otherwise. 40 days longer we do respite you, if, by which time, our secret be undone, this mercy shows will joy in such a son. And until then, your entertained shall be as doth befit our honor and your worth.
How courtesy would seem to cover sin. Then we're certain you were not so bad as with foul incest to abuse your soul. Where now you're both a father and a son, by your untimely claspings with your child. And she, an eater of her mother's flesh, by the defiling of her parents' bed. Antiochus, farewell. One sin I know another doth provoke. Murder's as near as lust is flame to smoke.
He must not live to trumpet forth my infamy, and therefore instantly this prince must die. Thaliard!
Doth your highness call?
Thaliard, you are of our chamber, and our mind partakes her private actions to your secrecy. And for your faithfulness, we will advance you. Thaliard, we hate the Prince of Tyre, and thou must kill him. It fits thee not to ask the reason why, because we bid it. Say, is it done?
My lord, 'tis done.
Enough.
But, my lord, Prince Pericles is fled.
As thou wilt live, fly after. And like an arrow shot from a well-experienced archer hits the mark his eye doth level at, so thou never return, unless thou say, Prince Pericles is dead.
My lord, if I can get him within my pistol's length, I'll make him sure enough. So farewell to your honor.
Thaliard, adieu. Till Pericles be dead, my heart can lend no succor to my head.
Why should this change of thoughts? The tomb where grief should sleep can breed me quiet. Here, pleasures court mine eyes, and mine eyes shun them. And danger is afar with Antiochus, whose arm seems far too short to hit me here. Yet neither pleasure's art can joy my spirits, nor yet the other's distance comfort me. For what may make him blush in being known, he'll stop the course by which it might be known. With hostile forces he'll overspread the land, our men'll be vanquished ere they do resist. Which care of them, not pity of myself, makes both my body pine and my soul to languish, and punish that before that he would punish.
Joy and all comfort in your sacred breast, and keep your mind peaceful and comfortable.
Peace, peace. They do abuse the king that flatter him, for flattery is the bellows blows upon sin. Prince, pardon me, or strike me, if you please. I cannot be much lower than my knees.
Rise, prithee rise. Sit down, thou art no flatterer. I thank thee for it. And heaven forbid that kings should let their ears hear their faults hid. What wouldst thou have me do?
To bear with patience such griefs as you do lay upon yourself.
Attend me, then. I went to Antioch, where, as thou knowest, against the face of death, I sought the purchase of a glorious beauty. Her face was, to mine eye, beyond all wonder. The rest, hearken thine ear, as black as incest, which by my knowledge found, the sinful father seemed not to strike but smooth. But thou knowest this, 'tis time to fear when tyrants seem to kiss, how I might stop this tempest ere it came.
Well, my lord, since Antiochus you fear, and justly too, I think, you fear the tyrant, therefore, my lord, go travel for a while, till that his rage and his anger be forgot, or the destinies do cut his thread of life. Your rule direct to any, and if to me day serves not light, more faithful than I'll be.
I do not doubt thy faith. Tyre, I now look to thee then, and to Tarsus intend my travel. Farewell, Helicanus. I'll take thy word for faith, not ask thine oath. Who shuns not to break one will sure crack both.
So this is Tyre, and this the court. Here must I kill King Pericles, and if I do it not, I am sure to be hanged at home. For if a king bid a man be a villain, he's bound by the indenture of his oath to be one. Here someone comes.
You shall not need, my dear Lord Escanes, further to question me of your king's departure. His sealed commission, left in trust with me, doth speak sufficiently. He's gone to travel.
Gone?
So puts himself onto the shipman's toil, with whom every moment threatens life or death.
Well, I perceive I shall not be hanged now. He escaped the land to perish at the sea. Peace to the lords of Tyre.
Ah, Lord Thalyard from Antiochus is welcome.
From him I come with message unto princely Pericles, but since my landing, I have understood your lord has betook himself to unknown travels. My message must return from whence it came.
We have no reason to desire it. Commended to our master, not to us. Yet, ere you shall depart, this we desire. As friends to Antioch, we may feast in Tyre.
My Dionysa, shall we rest us here and see if by relating tales of others' grief, 'twill teach us to forget our own?
That were to blow at fire in hope to quench it. For who digs hills because they do aspire casts down one mountain to grow up a higher. Oh, my distressed lord.
Dionysa, this Tarsus, o'er which I have the government, a city on whom plenty held full hand, for riches strewed herself even in the streets. All poverty was scorned, and pride so great the name of help grew odious to repeat.
It's too true.
See what heaven can do by this our change. Those palates who, not yet 2 summers younger, must have inventions to delight the taste, would now be glad of bread and beg for it.
Not too curious are ready now to eat those little darlings whom they loved.
So sharp are hunger's teeth that man and wife draw lots who first shall die to lengthen life. Here many sink, yet those who see them fall have scarce enough strength left to give them burial. Is this not true?
Our cheeks and hollow.
Lord Governor,
Speak out thy sorrows which thou bringst in haste.
we have descried upon our neighboring shore a portly sail of ships make hitherward.
One sorrow never comes but brings an heir. Some neighboring nation, taking advantage of our misery, hath stuffed these hollow vessels with their power to beat us down.
No, my lord Cleon, for by the semblance of their white flags displayed, they bring us peace, and come to us as saviors, not as foes.
Who makes the fairest show means the most deceit. But bring what they will and what they can. What need we fear? The ground's the lowest, and we are halfway there. Go tell their general we'll attend them here. Welcome is peace, if he on peace consist. If war, we are unable to resist.
Lord Governor, for so we hear you are, we have heard your miseries as far as Tyre, and seen the desolation of your streets. And these our ships, seeming the Trojan horse, are stored with corn to make your needy bread, and give them life whom hunger starved half dead.
The gods of Greece protect you and accept our prayerful thanks.
We do not look for reverence, but for love, and harborage for ourselves, our ships and men.
Your grace is welcome to our town and to us.
Which welcome we'll accept. We'll feast here a while until our stars that frown lend us a smile.
Helicanus, to fulfill his prince's desire, sends word of all that haps in Tyre, how Thalyard came full bent with sin and had intent to murder him, and that in Tarsus was not best longer for him to make his rest. So Pericles put forth to seize, and now the wind begins to blow, thunder above and deeps below make such a storm that the ship should house him safe is wrecked and split. And he, good prince, having all lost, by waves from coast to coast is tossed. All his men perished on the sea shelf, nay, oft escaping but himself, till fortune, tired with doing bad, threw him ashore to give him glad. Now, to Pericles, Prince of Tyre.
Yet, Cease your ire, you angry stars of heaven! Wind, rain, and thunder, remember, earthly man is but a substance that must yield to you. And I, as fits my nature, do obey you.
What ho, Pilch?
Ah, come and bring away the nets.
Faith, master. I'm thinking of the poor men that were cast away before us even now.
Alas, poor souls. It grieves my heart to hear what pitiful cries they made to us to help them when, well, a day we could scarce help ourselves.
Nay, master, said not I as much when I saw the porpoise, how he bounced and tumbled. The plague on them, that never come but I look to be washed. Master, I marvel how the fishes live in the sea.
Why, as men do a land, the great ones eat up the little ones.
How from the finny subject of the sea these fishers tell the infirmities of men. Peace be at your labor, honest fishermen. See what the sea hath cast upon your coast.
What a drunken knave was the sea to cast thee in our way.
Now, afore me, a handsome fellow.
I thank you, sir.
Hark you, sir, do you know where ye are?
Not well.
Why, I'll tell you. This is called Pentapolis, and our king, the good Simonides.
The good king Simonides, do you call him?
Aye, sir, and he deserves so to be called for his peaceable reign and good government.
He is a happy king, since he gains from his subjects the name of good by his government. How far is his court distance from shore?
Airy, sir, half a day's journey. And I'll tell you, he hath a fair daughter. And tomorrow is her birthday, and there are princes and knights come from all parts of the world to joust and tourney for her love.
Were my fortunes equal to my desires, I could wish to make one there.
Oh, sir, things must be as they may.
I beg of you, kind friends who saved a stranger, now that you'd guide me to your sovereign's court. And if that my ever low fortune's better, I'll pay your bounties till the rest your debtor.
Why? Wilt thou tourney for the lady?
I'll show the virtue I've borne in arms.
Then I'll bring thee to court myself.
Then honor be but a goal to my will. This day I'll rise, or else add ill to ill.
Are the knights ready to begin the triumph?
Woo! Yeah!
Ha! And now then, we are ready. And our daughter, in honor of whom these triumphs are, sits here like beauty's child, whom nature gat for men to see, and seeing wonder at.
Pleaseth you, my royal father, to express my commendations great, whose merits less.
'Tis now your honor, daughter, to entertain the labor of each knight in his device. Let the battle begin!
I hail from Sparta, right across the sea, but we don't got a bishop for me to see you're the right girl for me. I will love you well and hold my life of you. Girl, if you're a villa, damn, what a view.
Yes, a view, that I won't contest, even as the best contestant among these infestants. Princess, you're worth dying for, so let's lose all these other fucking lion boars. Antioch's my home, but I'd rather like it here, because in your presence, every second's a year.
Shut up a second. You're from Antioch? Dude, stop talking or you're gonna get shot. I'm shocked you're here. Don't you got a sis to under us? Or is it only your king who's fucking incestuous? You see, I'm from faraway Rome where we take things fucking seriously and take fucking seriously. Look at me, I'm hot. That's plain to see, so let's cut to the chase and start tying the knot. Or if you say you'd rather not, you can tie me to a headboard and I'll show you my...
Not. I have heard enough.
Excuse me, sir. May I have a chance to tell your daughter how she can make my heart go and dance? At the moment, I've not got much, so I'm not much of a challenger. But if she'd let me, I'd love to respect and cherish her. You see, I'm tired and I've been through a lot. But when I first saw her face, my heart began to race to an unknown place at a pace where I only saw her in lace. And I don't expect you to go for my misfortunes, but they don't detract from the purity of my intentions. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk so much. It's just that your daughter made my blood start to rush.
Knights! To say you're welcome were superfluous. Prepare for mirth becomes a feast. You are princes and my guests.
But you, my knight and guest, to whom the gift of victory I give and crown you king of this day's happiness.
'Tis more by fortune, lady, than my merit.
Call it by what you will. The day is yours.
Come, queen of the feast. Here, take your place.
We are honored much by good Simonides.
Your presence glads our days. First, yonder is your place.
Some other is more fit.
Contend not, sir, for we are gentlemen that neither in our hearts nor outward eyes envy the great, nor the low despise.
You are right courageous knights.
Sit.
By Juno, that is queen of marriage, all drinks I taste do seem unsavory, wishing him my wine. Sure, he's the gallant gentleman.
He's but a country gentleman. He's done no more than other knights have done. Has broken a staff or so let it pass.
To me, he seems like diamond to glass.
Merry night.
Who can be other in this royal presence?
Here, with a cup that's stored unto the brim, as you do love fill to your mistress's lips, we drink this health to you.
Yon king's to me like to my father's picture, whereby I see that time's the king of men. He's both their parent and he's their grave.
Note it not you, Kaiser?
What is to me, my father?
Daughter. Make his entertain more sweet. Here, say we drink this standing bowl of wine to him, huh?
Alas, my father, it befits not me unto a stranger knight to be so bold. He may my proffer take for an offense, since men take women's gifts for impudence.
How? Do as I bid you, or you'll move me out.
Now by the gods, he could not please me better.
Further, tell him we desire to know of whence he is, his name, and his parentage.
The king, my father, sir, has drunk to you,
I thank him.
wishing it so much blood unto your life.
I thank both him and you, and pledge him freely.
And further, he desires to know of you, of whence you are, your name and parentage.
Gentleman of Tyre. My name is Pericles. My education's been in arts and arms. Who, looking for adventures in the world, was by the rough seas reft of ships and men, and after shipwreck driven upon this shore.
He thanks your grace, names himself Pericles, a gentleman of Tyre, who, only by misfortune of the seas, bereft of ships and men, cast on this shore.
By the gods, I pity his misfortune. You, knights, on to your several lodgings. Yours, sir, we have given order be next our own.
I am at your grace's pleasure.
No, Aeschines, know this of me. Antiochus from incest lived not free, for which the most high gods, not waiting any longer to withhold the vengeance they had in store, when he was seated in a chariot of a rare value, and his daughter with him, a fire from heaven came and shriveled up their bodies, even to loathing. And all those eyes adored them ere their fall, scorn now their hands should give them burial.
'Twas very strange.
Lord Helicane, a word.
With me? And welcome. Happy days, my lords.
Know that our griefs are risen to the top and now at length overflow their banks.
Your griefs for what? Wrong not the prince you love.
Wrong not yourself then, noble Helicane. But if Pericles do live, let us salute him. We'll be resolved to live that he governs us. Or dead, gives us cause to mourn his funeral, and leave us our free election.
Our kingdom is without a head. A goodly building left without a roof soon falls to ruin. So, your noble self that best know how to rule and how to reign, we thus submit unto our sovereign.
Live, noble Helicane!
My noble sirs, if that you love Prince Pericles, forbear. 12th month longer, let me entreat you to further bear the absence of your king. If in which time expired he not return, I shall with all my patience bear your yoke.
Yes.
To wisdom he's a fool that will not yield. And since Lord Helicane enjoineth us, we, with our loyalty, will endeavor it.
When peers thus knit, a kingdom ever stands.
Since evening past, Thyja has so strictly tied her to her chamber, with not a word whispered. Save for this letter she abruptly delivered. She tells me here she'll wed the stranger knight, or never more view nor day nor light. 'Tis well, mistress. Your choice agrees with mine. I like that well. Nay, how absolute she's in it, not minding whether I dislike or no. Well, I do commend her choice. But yet, I will test that their love is true, both hers for him and his in view.
All fortune to the good Simonides.
To you as much, sir. I am beholding to you for your sweet music this last night.
It is your grace's pleasure to command.
Let me ask you one thing. What do you think of my daughter, sir?
Most virtuous princess.
She is fair too, is she not?
As a fair day in the summer, a wondrous fair.
Sir, my daughter thinks very highly of you.
I am unworthy of her schoolmaster.
Huh? She thinks not so. Peruse this letter. Hers.
What's here? A letter that she loves the Knight of Tyre. 'Tis the king's subtlety to have my life. Oh, seek not to entrap me, gracious lord, a stranger and a distressed gentleman that never aimed so high to love your daughter, but bent all offices to honor her.
Thou hast bewitched my daughter, and thou art a villain.
By the gods, I have not. Never did thought of mine levy offense, nor never did my actions yet commence a deed might gain her love or your displeasure.
Traitor, thou liest.
Traitor!
I, traitor!
My actions are as noble as my thoughts, that never relished of base dissent, and he that otherwise accounts of me, this sword shall prove his honor's enemy.
Now, by the gods, I do applaud his courage. Here comes my daughter.
Thyja, as you are as virtuous as fair, resolve your angry father if my tongue did e'er solicit, or my hands subscribe to any syllable that made love to you.
Why, sir, say if you had, who takes offense at that which would make me glad?
Yea, mistress, are you so peremptory? I'm glad on it. Is this a fit match for you? A struggling foreigner, born we know not where, one that hath neither blood nor merit for thee to hope for, or to challenge of thy perfections, even in the least allowance.
Suppose his birth were base, when that his life shows that he is not so. Yet he hath virtue, the very ground of all nobility, enough to make him noble. I entreat you to remember that I am in love, the power of which love cannot be confined by the power of your will. Most royal father, what with my pen I have in secret written, with my tongue I now openly confirm, which is, I have no life but in his love, nor any being but enjoying of his worth.
Equals to equals, good to good is joined. This not being so, the bavin of your mind, in rashness kindled, must again be quenched, or purchase our displeasure. And for you, sir, first learn to know that I banish you from my court. And yet I scorn that our rage should stoop so low. For your ambition, sir, I'll have your life.
For every drop of blood he sheds of yours, he'll have another from his only child.
Are you both in league against me, your king? Then be it so. If you will not be ruled by me, then you shall be ruled by love. And by love's decree, make you man and wife. What? Are you not pleased?
Yes! If you love me, sir.
Even as my life, my blood that fosters it.
Are you both agreed?
Yes, if it pleases your majesty.
It pleaseth me so well that I will see you wed.
What haste you can, get you wed.
By many a ship and avian's perch, of Pericles the careful search the lords of Tyre made to find their king, until, at last, with the familiar ring, to the court of King Simonides our letters brought, the tenor these. The men of Tyrus would on the head of Helicanus set on the crown of Tyre, but he will none. Says to him, if King Pericles come not home in twice 6 moons, I, obedient to their wants, will take the crown. The sum of this, brought hither to Pentapolis, amazes the ears of all, who do shout, our heir apparent is a king! Who dreamt, who thought of such a thing? King Pericles must hence depart to Tyre. His queen, with child, makes her desire to stay with him, though the voyage be dire. Lycorida, her nurse, she takes, and so to sea. The vessel shakes on Neptune's billow. Half the voyage they have sailed, when fortune's shining visage varies again. The grisly north disgorges such a tempest forth, that up and down the poor ship drives. Thysia screams in pain and fear, and is taking below to give birth here. Now, when your imagination holds your screen, the ship, upon whose deck the sea-tossed Pericles appears but a speck.
The god of this great vast rebuke these surges, which wash both heaven and hell, and thou that hast upon the winds command, bind them in brass, having called them from the deep. Oh, still thy deafening dreadful thunders, gently quench thy nimble sulphurous flashes. Oh, how Lycorida, divinest patroness and midwife gentle to those that cry by night, convey thy deity aboard our dancing boat, make swift the pangs of my queen's travails.
Here is a thing too young for such a place, who, if it had conceit, would die, as I am like to do. Take in your arms this piece of your dead queen.
How, Lycorida?
Patience, good sir. Do not assist the storm. Here's all that is left living of your queen. A little daughter. For the sake of it, be manly and take comfort.
God, why do you make us love your goodly gifts and snatch them straight away?
Patience, good sir. Even for this charge.
Now mild may be thy life. No more bluster's birth had never bathed. Quiet and gentle thy conditions, for thou art the rudeliest welcome to this world that ever was a prince's child. Happy with follows. Thou hast as chiding a nativity as fire, air, water, and earth and heaven can make to herald thee from the womb. The gods throw their best eyes on thee.
What courage, sir. God save you.
Courage enough. I do not fear the storm. It has done me the worst. Yet for the love of this boy, and this fresh new seafarer, I would it would be quiet.
Sir, your queen must overboard. Sea works high, the wind is loud, and will not lie till the ship be cleared of the dead.
There's superstition.
Pardon us, sir. At sea it hath been still observed, and my men are strong in custom. Therefore, briefly yield her, for she must overboard straight.
Here she lies, sir.
A terrible childbed hast thou had, my dear. No light, no fire. The unfriendly elements forgot thee utterly. Nor have I time to give thee hollow to thy grave, but straight must cast thee, scarcely coffined in the sea. And humming water must overwhelm thy corpse, lined with simple shells. O Lycorda, bid Nestor bring me spices, ink, and paper. My daughter, to thy safekeeping. Hide thee, whilst I say a priestly farewell to her. Suddenly, woman.
Sir, a burial chest is beneath the hatches, caulked and betumed ready.
Thank thee. Captain, say, what coast is this?
We are near Tarsus.
Tarsus. There will I visit Cleon, for the babe cannot hold out to Tyrus. There I'll leave it at careful nursing. Go thy ways, good mariner. I'll bring the body presently.
How I pity the plight of those stuck at sea. 'Has been a turbulent and stormy night. I have been in many, but a night such as this, till now I ne'er endured.
Good morrow!
Good morrow, dear lordship.
Gentlemen, why do you stare so early?
Sir, our lodging standing bleak upon the sea shook as the earth did quake. The very principles did seem to rend and all to topple. Pure surprise and fear made me quit the house.
That is the cause we trouble you so early.
But I much marvel that Lord Sermon, your lordship, should at these early hours shake off the golden slumber of repose. 'Tis most strange, nature should be so conversant with pain, being thereto not compelled.
I hold it ever. Virtue and knowledge were endowments greater than noble birth and riches. Careless heirs may the latter to expend and darken, but immortality attends the former, making a man a god. 'Tis known I have ever studied healing, through which sacred art, by reading over authorities, I, together with my practice, made familiar to me and to my aid the blessed infusions that dwell in vegetatives, stones, metals. And I can speak of the disturbances that nature works, and of her cures, which doth give me a more content in course of true delight, than to be thirsty after tottering honor.
Oh, Your honor has, through a thesis, poured forth your charity, and hundreds by you have been restored.
What's this? Did the sea toss this upon our shores? 'Tis of some wreck.
Set it down, let's look upon it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like a coffin, sir.
Wretched open straight. If the sea's stomach be o'ercharged with gold, 'tis a good constraint of fortune it belches upon us.
'Tis so, my lord. Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, you most potent gods.
Me?
What is here, a corpse?
Most strange.
Shrouded in cloth of state, embalmed and entreasured, with full bags of spices, and a letter too.
Oh, here, sir.
Here I give to understand, if e'er this coffin drives a land, I, King Pericles, have lost this queen, worth all my kingdom's cost. Whoever finds her, give her burying. She was the daughter of a king. Besides this treasure for a fee, the gods requite us charity. If thou livest, Pericles, thou hast a heart that even cracks for woe. They were too rough that threw her into the sea. Make a fire within. I have hidden here some medicines. Death may usurp on nature many hours, and yet the fire of life kindle again. I heard of an Egyptian that had 9 hours lain dead, who was recovered. That rough and woeful music, cause it to sound, beseech you. Music! I pray you give her air. Nature awakes her. Oh, mourn for these out of her. She hath not been entranced of the 5 hours. See how she begins to blow into life's flower again? This queen will live.
The heavens through you increase our wonder and set up your honor forever.
Behold her eyelids, faces to those heavenly jewels Pericles hath lost, begin to part their fringes of bright gold. Live, and make us weep to hear your fate, fair creature, rare as you seem to be.
Oh, dear Diana, where am I? Where's my lord? What world is this?
It's not this strange.
Most rare.
To the next chamber bear her. Get blankets and keep her warm, and give her drink, for her relapse is mortal. Come, come.
Most honored Cleon, I must needs be gone. My 12 months are expired, and Tyrus stands in a litigious peace. You and your lady take from my heart all thankfulness. The gods make up the rest upon you.
Poor shafts of fortune, though they hurt you mortally, yet glance full wanderingly on us.
We cannot but obey the powers above us. My gentle babe Marina, whom, for she was born at sea, I have named so. Here I charge your charity withal, leaving her the infant of your care, beseeching you to give her princely training, that she may be mannered as she is born.
Fear not, my lord, but think if neglection should therein make me vile, the common body, by you relieved, should force me to my duty. But if to that my nature need a spur, the gods revenge it upon me and mine to the end of generations.
I believe you. Till she be married, sir. By bright Diana, whom we honor all unscissored, shall this hair of mine remain. So I take my leave. Goodly Lord, make me blessed in your care in bringing up my child.
I have one myself, who shall not be more dear to my respect than yours, my lord.
Sir, my thanks and prayers. No tears like Horida. No tears. Look to your little mistress, on whose grace you may depend hereafter. Come, my lord.
Madam, this letter and some certain jewels lay with you in your coffer, which are now at your command. Know you the character?
But since King Pericles, my wedded lord, I ne'er shall see again, a vestal livery will I take me to. And never more have joy.
Madam, if this you purpose as you speak, Diana's temple is not distant far, where you may abide until your date expire.
My recompense is thanks, that's all. Yet my goodwill is great, though the gift small.
Imagine Pericles at home in Tyre, welcomed and settled to his own desire. His woeful queen we leave at Ephesus. Unto Diana there's a voatress. Now, to Marina turn your mind, whom our fast-growing scene must find at Tarsus, and by Cleon trained in music, letters, who hath gained of education all the grace to make her both the heart and place of general wonder. But alack, that monster envy, off the rack of earned praise, Marina's life seeks to take off by treason's knife. And in this kind hath Lord Cleon a daughter, who, it's said, would ever with Marina be. But Marina's beauty so darks Cleon's daughter's graceful marks, that Cleon's wife, with envy rare, a present murderer does prepare for good Marina, that her daughter might stand peerless by this slaughter. The sooner her vile thoughts to stead, like Horda, the nurse, is dead. And cursed Dionysa hath the pregnant instrument of wrath. Shh! Dionysa does appear, bringing Leonine, a murderer.
Thy oath remember. Thou hast sworn to do it. 'Tis but a blow which never shall be known.
We'll do it, but yet she is a goodly creature.
The fitter then the gods should have her. Here she comes weeping her only nurse's death. Thou art resolved?
I'm resolved.
No. I will rob Tellus of her weed to strew thy green with flowers, the yellows, blues, the purple violets, and marigolds. Shall as a carpet hang upon the green while summer's days doth last. Ay me, poor maid, born in a tempest when my mother died, this world to me is like a lasting storm, worrying me from my friends.
How now, Marina? Why do you keep alone? How chance my daughter is not with you? Do not consume your blood with sorrowing. O'er the sea margin, talk with Leonine. The air is quick there, and it pierces and sharpens the stomach. Come, Leonine, take away her grief. Talk with her.
No, I pray you, I'll not bereave you of your servant.
Come. I love the king, your father, and yourself with more than foreign heart. We every day expect him here. Go, I pray you, talk and be cheerful once again. Preserve that excellent complexion which did steal the eyes of young and old. Care not for me. I can go home alone.
Well, I will go, but yet I have no desire to do it.
Oh, come. I know 'tis good for you. Talk half an hour, Leonine, at the least. Remember what I have said.
I warrant you, madam.
I'll leave you, my sweet lady, for a while. Pray, talk softly. Do not heat your blood. I must have care of you.
My thanks, sweet madam. Is this wind westerly that blows?
Southwest.
When I was born, the wind was north.
Was it so?
Never was waves nor wind more violent.
Come, say your prayers.
What mean you?
If you require a little space for prayer, I grant it. Pray, but be not tedious, for the gods are quick of ear, and I am sworn to do my work with haste.
Why will you kill me?
Satisfy my lady.
Why would she have me killed? Now, as I can remember by my troth, I never did hurt her in all my life. I never spake bad word, nor did ill turn to any living creature. How have I offended wherein my death might yield her any profit, or my life imply her any danger?
My commission is not to reason of the deed, but do it.
You will not do it for all the world, I hope. You are well favored, and your looks for show you have a gentle heart. Be so now your lady seeks my life. Come you between and save me, or the weaker.
I'm sworn and will dispatch.
Hold, villain!
Prize! A prize!
Half mine, mate, half mine. Come, let's have her aboard suddenly.
These roguing thieves have seized Marina. Let her go. There's no hope she'll return. I'll swear she's dead and thrown into the sea to save my only head.
Bolt!
Sir!
Search the market narrowly. Mitylene is full of gallants. We lost too much money this mart, being too wenchless.
We were never so much out of creatures. We have but poor 3, and they can do no more than they can do. And
Therefore,
with continual action are even as good as rotten.
Therefore, let's have fresh ones, whatever we pay for them. 3 or 4,000 were as pretty a proportion to live quietly, and so give over.
Why to give over, I pray you? Is that a shame to get when we are old?
Oh, our credit comes not in like the commodity, nor the commodity wages not with the danger. Therefore, if in our use we can pick up some pretty estate, 'twere not amiss to keep our door hatched. Besides, the sore terms we stand upon with the gods will be strong for giving over.
Other sorts offend as well as we.
As well as we, aye, and worse too. We offend worse.
Okay, come your ways, my masters. You say she's a virgin. Oh, sir, we doubt it not. Master, I've gone through for this piece, you see. If you like her, so. If not, I've lost my earnest.
Bolt, has she any qualities?
She has a good face, speaks well, and has excellent good clothes. There's no further necessity of qualities can make her be refused.
What's her price, Bolt?
I cannot be baited 1 doit of 1,000 pieces.
Well, follow me, my masters. They will have their money presently. Wife, take her in. Instruct her for what she has to do, that she may not be raw in her entertainment.
Bolt, take you the marks of her. The color of her hair, complexion, height, her age, with warrant of her virginity, and cry, he that will give most shall have her first. Such a maidenhead were no cheap thing, if men were as they have been. Get this done as I command you.
Performance shall follow.
Black. That Leonine was so slack, so slow. He should have struck, not spoke. Or that these pirates, not enough barbarious, had overboard thrown me for to seek my mother.
I lament you, pretty one.
That I am pretty.
Come, the gods have done their part in you.
I accuse them not.
You are light into my hands, where you are like to live.
The more my fault to escape his hands where I was like to die.
Aye, and you shall live in pleasure.
No.
Yes, indeed shall you, and taste gentlemen of all fashions. You shall fare well. You shall have the difference of all complexions. What? Do you stop your ears?
Are you a woman?
What would you have me be, and I be not a woman?
An honest woman, or not a woman?
Marry with the gosling. I think I shall have something to do with you. Come, you're a young, foolish sapling and must be bowed as I would have you.
The gods defend me.
If it pleased the gods to defend you by men, then men must comfort you. Men must feed you. Men must stir you up. Bolt returned. Now, sir, hast thou cried her through the market?
I've cried her almost to the number of her hairs. I've drawn her picture with my voice.
Pray you, come hither a while. You have fortunes coming upon you. Mark me, you must seem to do that fearfully which you commit willingly. Despise profit where you have most gain. To weep that you live as ye do makes pity in your lovers. Seldom but that pity begets you a good opinion. and that opinion, a mere prophet.
I understand you not.
Oh, take her home, mistress. Take her home. These blushes of hers must be quenched with some present practice.
Bolt, in town report what a sojourner we have. You'll lose nothing by custom. When nature flamed this piece, she meant thee a good turn. Therefore say what a paragon she is, and thou hast the harvest out of thine own report.
I warrant you, mistress, thunder shall not so awake the beds of eels as my giving out her beauty stir up the lewdly inclined. I'll bring some home tonight.
Come your ways. Follow me.
If fires be hot, knives sharp, or waters deep, untied, I still my virgin knot will keep. Diana, aid my purpose!
What do we have to do with Diana?
The plotting Dionysa told her deed to royal Cleon, whose ears did bleed, and poor Leonine, who, being blamed, was poisoned by the treacherous dame. But condemn her, loyal Cleon did not, for now their daughter all's attention got. And King Pericles is once again thwarting the wayward seas, attended on by many a lord and knight, to see his daughter, all his life's delight. A proud Helicanus goes along. Behind is left to govern, if you bear in mind, Lord Escanes, whom Helicanus of late advanced in time to great and high estate. Well-sailing ships and bounteous winds find this king at Tarsus to fetch his daughter home, who first is gone. The rulers there tell him she died at night. So a father, 'gainst the fates, loses his fight, and Pericles in sorrow all devoured swears never to wash his face nor cut his hairs. He puts on sackcloth, and to sea he bears a tempest which his mortal vessel tears, and yet he rides it out. Let Pericles believe his daughter's dead, and bear his courses to be ordered by Lady Fortune, while our scene must play his daughter's woe and heavy well-a-day in our unholy service. Patience, then, and think you now are all in Mytilene.
Well, I'd rather than twice of worth of her, had she ne'er come here.
I fie upon her. We must either get her ravished or be rid of her. She would make a Puritan of the devil if he should cheapen a kiss of her.
Faith, I must ravish her, or she'll defurnish us of all of our cavalleria and make our swearers priests.
Ah, here comes the Lord Lysimachus, disguised.
How much for a dozen virginities?
Now the gods to bless your honor.
I am glad to see your honor in good health.
You may so. 'Tis for the better for you that your resorters stand upon sound legs. How now? Wholesome inequity have you, that a man may deal with all and defy the surgeon?
We have here one, sir, if she would, but there never came her like in Mytilene.
If she'd do the deeds of darkness, thou would say.
Your honor knows what 'tis to say well enough.
Well, call forth, call forth.
Here comes that which grows to the stalk. Never plucked yet, I can assure you. Is she not a fair creature?
Faith, she would serve after a long voyage at sea. Well, there's for you. Leave us. Now, pretty one, how long have you been at this trade?
What trade, sir?
Why, I cannot name it, but I shall offend.
I cannot be offended by my trade. Please you to name it.
How long have you been of this profession?
Since I can remember.
Did you go to it so young? Were you a gamester at 5 or at 7?
Earlier too, sir, if now I be one.
Why, the house you dwell in proclaims you to be a creature of sail.
Do you know this house to be a place of such resort, and will come into it? I hear say you're of honorable parts and are the governor of this place.
Why? Hath your principal made known unto you who I am?
Who is my principal?
Why, your herb woman, she that sets seeds and roots of shame and iniquity. Come, bring me to some private place. Come, come.
If you were born to honor, show it now. If put upon you, make the judgment good that thought you worthy of it.
How's this? How's this? Speak some more.
If as you say you are the governor, let not authority which teaches rule be means to you to rule yourself amiss. If eminence you do by descent, let your life prove you in birth a bastard. If it were thrust upon you by opinion, make good that opinion that did make you great. What reasons in your justice who have power over all to undo any? If you take from me mine honor, you're like him that makes a gap into forbidden ground, whom after too many enter, and all their evils yourself are guilty. My life is yet unspotted. Then, if your violence deface this building, the workmanship of heaven, you do kill your honor, abuse your justice, and impoverish me. My yet, good Lord, if there be fires before me, must I straight fly and burn myself? Oh, that the gods would set me free from this unhallowed place. Though they did change me to the meanest bird that flies ither, purer air.
I did not think thou couldst have spoke so well, nor dreamt thou couldst. I hither came here with thoughts intemperate, foul, and deformed, the which your pains so well have laved that they are now white. Now, there's gold for thee. Persever in that clear way thou goest, and the gods strengthen thee.
The good gods preserve you.
Thou art a piece of virtue, and I doubt not but that thy training hath been noble. A curse upon him! Die he like a thief that robs thee of thy goodness. If thou dost hear from me, it shall be for thy good.
I beseech your honor for our hospitality.
Avaunt, thou damned doorkeeper. Your house, but for this virgin that doth prop it, would sink and overwhelm you.
All right. Well, are we writing a check like last time, or?
Away!
How's this? Well, we must take another course with you. If your peevish chastity, which is not worth a breakfast in the cheapest country on earth, shall undo a whole household, let me be gelded like a spaniel. Come your ways.
Whither would you have me?
I must have your maidenhead taken off, or the common hangman shall execute it. Come your ways. We'll have no more gentlemen driven away. Come your ways, I say.
Prithee, tell me one thing first. What canst thou wish thy enemy to be?
Why, I could wish him to be my master, or rather my mistress.
Neither of these are so bad as thou art, since they do better in thee command. Thou hadst a place for which the pained fiend of hell would not in reputation change. Thou art the damned doorkeeper to every constable that comes inquiring for his tib. To the chloric fisting of every rogue, thy ear is liable, thy food is such been hath belched upon by infected lungs.
What would you have me do? Go to the wars, would you? Where a man may serve 7 years for the loss of a leg and not have money in the end to buy him a wooden one?
Do anything but thou dost. Empty old receptacles are common shores of filth. Serve to the indenture, to the common hangman. Any of these ways are yet better than this. For what thou professest, a baboon, could he speak, would own a name too dear. Oh, that the gods would safely deliver me from this place. Here, there's gold for thee. if that thy master would gain by me, proclaim that I can sing, weave, sew, and dance with all other virtues which I can keep from boast, and I will undertake these all to teach. I doubt not that this populous city will yield many scholars.
But can you teach all of this that you speak of?
Prove that I cannot. Take me home again and prostitute me to the basest groom that doth frequent your house.
Well, I will see what I can do for thee. If I can place thee, I will.
But amongst honest women.
Faith, my acquaintance lies little amongst them. Come, I'll do for thee what I can. Come your ways.
Marina, thus the brothel escapes and chances into an honest house, our story says. She sings like one immortal and dances goddess-like to her admired songs. Now, to her father turn your mind again, where we last saw him on the sea. We there him lost, whence, driven before the winds, he's arrived here, where his daughter dwells. And on this coast, suppose him now at anchor. Of mournful Pericles, think this his bark, where what is done in action, more if might, shall be discovered. Please you, sit and hark.
Sir, there's a barge brought from Italy, and in it is Lord Lysimachus, the governor, who craves to come aboard. What is your will?
That he have his.
Oh, sir, my lord calls you aboard.
Hail, reverend sir, the gods preserve you.
And you, sir, to outlive the age I am, and die as I would do.
You wish me well. I am the governor of this place you lie before, and being on shore, honoring of Neptune's triumphs, seeing this goodly vessel ride before us, I made of it to know whence you are.
Sir, our vessel is of Tyre, in it the king, a man who for this 3 months has not spoken to anyone, nor taken sustenance but to prolong his grief.
Upon what grounds is his distemperature?
Could be too tedious to repeat, but the main grief springs from the loss of a beloved daughter and a wife.
May we not see him?
You may, but bootless is your sight. He will not speak to any. Behold him. This was a goodly person, till that disaster that one mortal night drove him to this.
Good king! All hail! The gods preserve you! Hail, royal sir!
It is in vain. He will not speak to you.
Sir, there is a maid in Middlin. I durst wager would win some words of him. She, questionless with her sweet harmony and other chosen attractions, would allure and make a battery through his deafened parts, which now are midway stopped. Lord, bring the maid down.
Sure, all's effectless, but nothing will omit that bears recovery's name. But since your kindness we have stretched thus far, let us beseech you that for our gold we may provisions have, wherein we are not destitute for want, but weary for staleness.
Oh, sir, a courtesy which if we should deny, the most just gods for every graph would send a caterpillar and so inflict our province. Yet, once more, let me entreat to know at large the cause of your king's sorrow.
Dear sir, I will recount it to you, but see, I am prevented.
Oh, here's the lady. Welcome, fair one. It's not a goodly presence.
She's a gallant lady.
She's such a one that, were I well assured, came of a gentle kind and noble stock, I wish no better choice, and think me rarely wed. Fair one, all goodness that consists in bounty expect even here, whereas a kingly patient. If that thy prosperous and artificial feet can draw him but to answer thee in aught, thy sacred physic shall receive such pay as thy desires can wish.
Sir, I will use my utmost skill in his recovery, provided that none but I be suffered to come near him.
Come, let us leave her. And the gods make her prosperous. See, she will speak to him.
Hail, sir, my lord lend an ear. I am a maid, my lord, that ne'er invited eyes, but have been gazed upon like a comet. She speaks, my lord, that may hath endured a grief might equal yours if both were justly weighed. Though wayward fortune did malign my state, my diveration was from ancestors who stood equivalent with mighty kings. But time hath rooted out my parentage, and to the world in awkward casualties I am bound to servitude. I will detest, but there is something that glows upon my cheek and whispers into mine ear, go not till he speak.
My fortunes. Parentage. Good parentage. Equal mine. Was it not thus? What say you?
I said, my lord, if you did know my parentage, you would not do me violence.
I do think so. You're like something that... What countrywoman? Here, these shores?
No, nor of any shores. Yet I was mortally brought forth, and am no other than I am.
I am great with woe, and would deliver weeping. My dearest was like this maid, and such a one my daughter might have been. As silver-voiced, her eyes as jewel-like, and cased as richly. In pace, another Juno, who starves the ear she feeds and makes them hungry the more she gives them speech. Where do you live?
Where I am but a stranger from the deck, you may discern the place.
Where were you bred? And how would you do these endowments which make you more rich to owe?
If I should tell my history, it would seem like lies disdained in the reporting.
Prithee, speak. Falseness cannot come from thee, for thou look'st modest as justice, and thou seem'st a palace for the crowned truth to dwell in. I will believe thee, and make my senses credit thy relation to points that seem impossible. For thou look'st like one I loved indeed. What were thy friends? Didst thou not say when I did push thee back, which was when I perceived thee, that thou camest from good descending?
So indeed I did.
Report thy parentage. I think thou saidst thou hadst been tossed from wrong to injury, and that thou thoughtst thy griefs might equal mine, if both were opened.
Some such thing I said, and no more, but what my thoughts did warrant me was likely.
Tell thy story. If thine considered prove the 1,000th part of my endurance, thou art a man, and I have suffered like a child. Yet thou dost look like patience, gazing on kings' graves, and smiling extremity out of act. What were thy friends? How lost thou them? Thy name, my most kind virgin? Count, I do beseech thee, come, tell it me.
My name is Marina.
Oh. Oh, I am mocked. And thou by some incense god sent hither to make the world laugh at me?
Patience, good sir, or I'll cease here.
Nay, I'll be patient. Thou little know'st how thou dost startle me, to call thyself Marina.
The name was given to me by one that had some power. My father and a king.
How? A king's daughter and called Marina?
You said you would believe me, but not to be the troubler of your peace. I will end here.
But are you flesh and blood? Have you a working pulse, and are no fairy? Motion is well, speak on. Where were you born, and wherefore called Marina?
Called Marina, for I was born at sea.
At sea? What mother?
My mother was the daughter of a king who died the minute I was born, as my good nurse Lycordia hath oft delivered weeping.
Oh, stop there a little. This is the rarest dream that ever dull sleep did mock sad fools withal. This cannot be my daughter, buried. Well, where were you bred? I'll hear you more, to the bottom of your story, and never interrupt you.
The king my father did in Tarsus leave me, till cruel Cleon, with his wicked wife, did seek to murder me and wooed a villain to attempt it, who having drawn to do it, a crew of pirates came to rescue me, and brought me to Mitylene. But good sir, whither will you have me? Why do you think I'm an imposter? No, good faith. I am the daughter to King Pericles, if King Pericles be.
Oh, Helicanus!
False, my lord?
Thou art a wise and noble counselor. Tell me if thou canst what this maid is, or what is like to be that thus hath made me weep.
I know not, but here is the regent, sir, of Mitylene, speaks nobly of her.
She would never tell her parentage. Being demanded that, she would sit still and weep.
Oh, Helicanus, strike me. Honored sir, give me a gash. Put me to present pain, lest this great sea of joys rushing upon me o'erbear the shores of my mortality and drown me with their sweetness. Come hither. Thou that begettest him that did thee beget. Thou that was born at sea, buried at Tarsus, and found at sea again. Helicanus, down on thy knees. Thank the holy gods as loud as thunder threatens us. This is Marina. What was thy mother's name? Tell me but that, for truth can never be confirmed enough, though doubts did ever sleep.
Oh, sir, I pray you, what is your title?
I am Pericles, Prince of Tyre. but tell me now my drowned queen's name, as in the rest you said thou hast been godlike perfect, the heir of kingdoms, and another like to Pericles, thy father.
Is it no more to be your daughter than to say my mother's name was Thysia? Thysia was my mother who did end the minute I began.
Oh, now blessing on thee. Thou art my child. Mine own Helicanus. That at Tarsus. And she should have been. My savage Cleon. She shall tell thee all. When thou shalt kneel and justify her knowledge, she is the very princess. Noble governor of Mitylene. I do thank you, sir. I'm wild in my beholding. Oh, heavens bless my girl. But hark, what music? Tell Helicanus, my Marina. Tell him over point by point, for yet he seems to doubt how sure you are my daughter. What music?
My lord, I hear none.
None. Music of the spheres. List, my Marina. There are sounds, do ye not hear?
Music, my lord. I hear
Most music. It knits me unto listening. A deep slumber hangs upon my eyes. Let me rest.
Let us leave him all.
So descends Diana, goddess of women. Heed now her words and welcome her vision.
My temple stands in Ephesus. Hie thee hither, and do upon mine altar sacrifice. 'Twill reveal how at sea didst lose thy wife. To mourn thy crosses with my daughters call, and give them repetition to the life. Perform my bidding, or thou livest in woe. Do it, and be happy by my silver bow. Awake, and tell thy dream.
Helicanus? My purpose was for Tarsus, there to strike the inhospitable Cleon. But I am for some other service first. Toward Ephesus turn our blown sails. Eftsoons I'll tell thee why. Shall we refresh us, sir, upon your shore? And give you gold for such provision as our intents will need?
Sir, with all my heart. And, when you come ashore, I have another suit.
Oh, you shall prevail, were it to woo my daughter, for it seems you've been noble towards her.
Sir, lend me your arm.
Come, my Marina.
Now our sands are almost run, more a little, and then dumb. As Diane bade, whereto being bound, in feathered briefness our sails filled, and wishes fall out as their will. At Ephesus, the temple see, our king and all his company. That he can hither come so soon is by your fancy's thankful doom.
Hail, Dian! To perform thy just command, I here confess myself the king of Tyre, who, frighted from my country, did wed and Pentopolis the fair Thysa. At sea, in childbed died she, but brought forth a maid-child called Marina, whom at Tarsus was nursed with Cleon, who at 14 years he sought to murder, but her better stars brought her to Mytilene, against whose shore, riding, her fortunes brought the maid aboard us, where, by her own most clear remembrance, she made known herself my daughter.
Voice and favor. You are, oh, royal Pericles!
Help, gentlemen!
Noble sir, if you have told Diana's altar true, that is your wife.
Noble sir, no, I threw her overboard with these very arms.
Upon this coast I warned you. Early in blustering morn, this lady was thrown upon the shore. I oped the coffin, found there rich jewels, recovered her, and placed her here in Diana's temple. Look, Aisha is recovered.
Oh, let me look. If he be none of mine, my sanctity will to my sense bend no licentious ear, but curb it spite of seeing. Oh, my lord, are you not Pericles? Like him you spake, like him you are. Did you not name a tempest, a birth, and a death?
The voice of dead Thysa.
Elijah am I, supposed dead and drowned. Now I know you better, I could ne'er forget thy face ere mine own.
This! No more, you gods! Your present kindness makes my past miseries sports. You shall do well that on the touching of her lips I may melt and no more be seen. Oh, come, be buried a second time within these arms.
My heart leaps to be gone into my mother's bosom.
Oh, look who kneels here. Flesh of thy flesh, Thyja, thy burden at the sea, and cold Marina, for she was yielded there.
Blessed and mine own! Oh, Lord Saruman, my lord, this man, through whom the gods have shown their power, that can from first to last resolve you.
Reverend sir, the gods can have no mortal officer more like a god than you. Will you deliver how this dead queen relives?
I will, my lord. Beseech you, first go with me to my house, where you shall be shown all is found with her, how she came placed here in this temple, no needful thing omitted.
Pure Dian, I bless thee for my vision, and will offer night oblations to thee. Dear Thyja, this prince, the fair betrothed of your daughter, at Pentapolis shall marry her. And now this ornament makes me look dismal, will I clip to form. And what this 14 years no razor touched, and to grace thy marriage day, I'll beautify.
Lord Saruman hath letters of good credit, sir. My father Simonides is dead.
Heavens make a star of him. Yet there, my queen, will celebrate their nuptials, and ourselves will in that kingdom spend our following days. Our son and daughter shall in Tyrus reign. Lord Saruman, we do our longing stay to hear the rest untold. Sir, leads the way.
In Antiochus and his daughter you have heard of monstrous lust, the due and just reward.
In Pericles, his queen and daughter seen, although assailed with fortune fierce and keen, virtue preserved from fell destruction's blast, led on by heaven, and crowned with joy at last.
In Helicanus may you well descry a figure of faith, of truth, of loyal ties.
In Reverend Saruman there well appears the worth that learned charity ever wears.
For wicked Cleon and his wife, when fame had spread their cursed deed to the honored name of Pericles, to rage the city turn, that him and his they in his palace burn.
The gods for murder seem so content to punish, although not done, but meant.
So, on your patience evermore attending, new joy wait on you. Here, our play has ending.